Hey guys, welcome to the Naughty Fisherman. I'm going to be doing another how-to on rigs today. Today's rig is going to be the Carolina rig. It is a pretty common way to rig your line if you're going to be fishing off the bottom. I myself use a modified version of this, which I will cover in a different video. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so here's the three components of this rig, other than the line obviously. So we have a 1/4 ounce egg sinker. So these are characterized by that little hole through the middle, which allows it to slide up and down freely. We have our pony bead, which is going to be used to make sure you're not hammering your knot every time you cast and every time you pull. It will weaken the knot integrity if you do. And then we have either a plain barrel swivel or a barrel swivel with a snap on it, also called a snap swivel. Honestly, it just comes down to a matter of preference on that one. If you want to go with just the barrel swivel so you can tie your leaders on the other side of the barrel, you can. Just realize that if you need to change it, you're going to have to cut it off and start anew. If that's not a problem, I'd recommend that one. If you're like me and you're just lazy or you want the ease of changing it out with a pre-tied or when you tied before you got to the lake, I would go with the snap, because all you have to do is snap that open, slide it on, snap it closed, and you're ready to rock. So like I said, totally a matter of preference. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna take your line and thread it through the little egg sinker right here. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna be your main force for getting out into the water, as well as the ability to hold the weight, to hold the bait down, so that even if you do float it off the bottom, it's not just running around the bottom of the lake, because that would be awkward, as well as kind of hard to get to the fish in the area you want to be in. All right, so next we're gonna do is take this little bead right here, slide that on, if I can actually make it through the hole. So we're just gonna pull that up. So yeah, this one's pretty simple. So that right there, you're already 2/3 of the way done. Like I said, this one's easy so far. Next thing you're gonna do, take your chosen method of ending, which is either gonna be the barrel or the snap swivel. I'm gonna do it with the snap swivel right now, just because that's my preferred method. So what we're gonna do is use whatever knot you prefer to tie either your hooks or your terminal tackle to your line. For this method, just because it's gonna be a little faster, I'm gonna use the improved clinch knot. So we're gonna do is pull that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're gonna take that, come back through that loop right there. Now that we've got that one done, we're gonna come back through this one right here. Like I said, any knot for this will work as long as you're comfortable with it. You can get it done decently fast. I don't think you want to be out there in the lake just spending half your time rigging. And now that we got that done, I am just going to go ahead and lubricate this. And then we're just going to pull that tight. Yeah, I know I probably butchered this knot. There we go. There, it's much better. All right. Now we got that knot formed right there. You can go ahead and cut that tag end off. And I'll show you guys what this looks like. All right, so that tag end is now cut off. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and just let this join itself. And that right there is why you want the bead. So what that's gonna do is when you cast this out, especially if you're gonna float your bait instead of just dragging along the bottom. If you're gonna float, you want this weight out there, because what it's gonna do is it's just gonna slide up and down, and then if it gets grabbed, you can just take the line instead of taking the weight with you until you actually pull back or it reaches the point where there's no longer any slack in the line. But that's gonna protect your knot with the bead right there, so it doesn't snap from under the weight and the punishment of that weight, especially when you're casting. But yeah, that's it, guys. All right, guys, so that is the Carolina rig. As I said, this is one I prefer to use. I do use a much more modified version. It's a little quicker and easier. I will be doing a video on that soon. I will say this is one of the predominant rigs I use because I do a lot of bait and weight fishing, and I like to float off the bottom instead of dealing with the bobber and the weights and floating the bait off the top or sinking the weight off the top. This is especially good if you want to get to the bottom of the lake and go for the fish that are lurking along the bottom there, especially above the weeds. I will say that almost all of my successes have come from using a version of the Carolina rig. My personal best was caught using this method. It's a great method for bait and weight fishing, just because you cast it out there, let the water do the work. As you've seen, real quick, real easy. It's just 3 parts and a knot. Sorry, I made that sound cheesy. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. Beyond that, tight knots and tight lines, guys. Thank you.